Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Wednesday, December the 29th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Keeping it simple. Decide once. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. What do I mean by decide once? Basically, it says follow your trading plan. In other words, you've taken the time to figure out what you want to do, when you want to do it, and what pair you're going to trade, what method, etc., etc. You've made that decision. When you're trading, you just need to follow your plan. You've already made the decision. If price is at the level and all the conditions say enter the trade, enter the trade. This kind of goes with what I was talking about yesterday and pulling the trigger. You've already made a decision. Don't use up your brain power, reanalyzing and trying to make another decision. When you're trading, it's the time to act. So you wait, you see your entry, and then you act. You've already made a decision what you're going to do when these conditions appear on your chart. So you have to ask yourself, why are you rethinking the process? Let me know. I'd be curious how many of you heard this message and had it hit home. I really would like to know. On to the charts, we can see on the month here, we're only 2 pips off the monthly high so far, so price is definitely moving up. I think we had some news this morning. We're going to have some more at the top of the hour that could just move the price up. We had a breakout of the weekly high. I called that because we saw price was in the weekly wick zone, so it's like price is going to leave it. And today we opened inside the opening range for the week, and we broke that high, and we're now 22 pips above it. And note, we are above last year's open, but we're still below this year's open. In fact, we're only 176 pips below it now, and we're 171 pips above the monthly open. We broke across that inside bar that happened 3 days ago. We had another opportunity. Price dipped below and came back above. And we are in the middle of the inside bar for the month. That happened 2 months ago, and in the inside bar for the week, that happened 6 weeks ago. In other words, we've got lots of inside bar action. But the range right now is only 62 and no pairs over 100. So I guess we're still in that holiday zone where we're just not seeing the range. The buy zone, though, definitely proved profitable. You can see the short zone paid off and the buy zone or long zone paid off. I wish when I had came up with this, I should have called it the trading zones, but back then it was I was a equities trader, just trading stocks, and I was only buying. I wasn't even shorting at the time. So, and then I learned about shorts, and that's when this was created. Rats. We do have enough range for rat trades, so red rats are preparing to feast. Pivot trading plan near R1 was calling short, but we've already passed through R1 and we passed through yesterday's high. Now I was noticing there was a trader talking about they were using pivots. And this is something that you might want to look at. Is R1 greater or less than yesterday's high, and is S1 greater or less than yesterday's low? And you want to look at those distances so you can choose your targets accordingly. So for example, we opened below the pivot, it hit the pivot and continued. So I think you could probably run this on the price travel analyzer. I think that might be interesting to see what it comes up with. Maybe I'll have to do that and post it. Okay, we took out today's pivot. So we've got a missed pivot from June, a missed pivot from November, and a missed pivot from December so far this year. We've missed the weekly pivot back in October on Halloween, and we missed it so far this week. But the month we did take out. In and out of the wick zones, as you can see. As always, price doesn't like staying in the wick zones. And if you think about it, with where the wick zones, it just shows you where the buyers and sellers are really arguing over the price. And somebody's saying, no, yes, no, yes, or yes, no. And they're just moving it back and forth. On the higher, low, lower, high scalper, you can see there was a nice trade here at 34.51 and about 18 pips to the good right there. Anybody trading the higher low, lower high, one thing you want to look for is you want to see horizontal dots both at this level, the higher low, lower high, and also at dynamic support resistance. That way you know price isn't still in breakout mode. Speaking about breakout, this hour we broke above the previous hour's high at the wall mall line. So if you stacked on, you've got a few pips in your pocket. And actually for a day that hasn't ranged much in terms of daily high minus low, you can see the hourly high minus lows are pretty much on par. And notice how we had a smaller one and followed by a bigger one. So things got compressed and then things broke out. And looking at the spread dots here, just watching price, you can see there really, when it switches, there's really not much movement a lot of the times, but then you get those bigger moves. And so if the buying moves are bigger than the selling moves, then you know price is going up. Now, somebody asked me how to use the TRO 2021 higher low, lower high multi-frequency indicator. And what does it do? How do you use it? Well, what it does is it gives you the ability to put in or display which periods you want to see and how many bars. So I like to use 34 to simulate the 3 ball on the 3-level ZZ. And so it's going to display all these lower highs and higher lows. And so how you use this is you can see right now we're at the M1 highest low, M5's down here 5 pips away. Then you've got the daily. So I would say right here, if it cracks this level going south, there could be a good opportunity for it to continue quite a ways. And just looking at the chart, I see from here to here, there's an imbalance. From here to here, there's an imbalance. And right now, from here to here, there's an imbalance. So sticking with candle color here, M30, I wouldn't want to go against it. But you could say drop down to M5. So you've got an M5 candle at the M1 highest low. This would be a short if you wanted to take that trade. But once again, as I mentioned, you can see here price pushed up. So we're not quite horizontal yet right here because we took a step up. So if I were to enter right now, I'd be looking to get maybe a pip or two and then I'd be out. Or I would just wait, let this candle close and see what happens next candle. Because as I mentioned earlier, I want to see those horizontal dynamic resistance diamonds across the top there. But as I've mentioned before, I can see those without them actually being there because I've been looking at these charts for so long. So on a decision, you have to decide, do I take this or do I have more questions to answer? So in my case, it'd be like, no, I didn't take it. Why? Wasn't horizontal at the top yet. So I sit and I wait. And as you can see, I'm glad that I didn't take that trade because I'd be down over 5 pips at the moment. And so that's what happens when you are focused on your plan. You execute your plan without hesitation, but you decide once, and I've decided that unless it's horizontal, I'm not taking the trade. I don't have to rethink it. I just sit and wait. And as you can see, the highest low just moved up. So once again, these are dynamic, meaning that they move in time. Now, some people will call it repainting, but it's not repainting. They're moving in real time. So yeah, if you look at something now and then you come back an hour later, yeah, things have moved, but that's because they're doing it in real time, not because it's repainting. That's like saying if you put in today's high and today's low, current daily high, current daily low, and then price makes a new daily high and or daily low, that the indicator is repainting. No, it's just updating in real time. So, fellow traders, when you're trading, just remember, decide once, and then from that point on, execute. Because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.